A word for our listeners. Masks of Nyarlathotep is set in the 1920s. We will be using terms and sayings from those times, including some that could be considered offensive. It is not our intention to offend. We merely wish to offer as accurate a view of the time period as possible. Welcome to the Nerds Domain presents Masks of Nyarlathotep. Join us each week as our investigators follow a path of clues and attempt to save the world from an ancient evil. Starring John Quiett, Jestin Kimmet, Shirley Niedzwiecki, George Chimples, Jason Hall, and Scott Troiano, with Matt Quiett running the table as keeper. Eldritch evils and crazed cultists await you just beyond this music.
Hi everybody, and welcome to the Nerds Domain presents Masks of Nyarlathotep. It is in my world, and this is my world. We are on our 5th episode of the side quest, and we're going to hand it over to George.
Alright, so you know where we are. If you don't, you're not going to know where you are at any point in this adventure. Last time we met, now we're again. It doesn't matter. We had Lorne Cook was asking about what sort of car you should steal.
What kind of cars do I have a selection of out here?
I think you should get a Cadillac.
I think you should get a limo.
The Cadillacs are so hard to repair.
I really think that we need
so
something that
expensive.
can handle quick stops,
Limo.
and hard turns.
Limo.
Not a limo.
Not a limo.
I'm looking for a large SUV, Hummer, something that might knock out roadblocks
Or horses.
Is there
or
a,
crowds.
is there a tank of it?
So you guys just wandering around the streets now looking for cars?
No.
I'm just kind of
looking for this car.
I'm looking up and down the road for cars that are nearby.
I think
Okay.
all of us are in the bookstore except for
And
the
I am-
two sneakiest people.
An incredibly unlucky person, so I found a motorcycle.
I'm going to take a look and see what I can find.
There's a couple like crossovers, but nothing that's like really off-roady or really
Crossover's
bulky.
good enough.
It is.
Jeep Cherokee.
Is it locked?
Of course it's locked. Baseball bat.
It's unlocked.
You're able to break into a Ford Escape.
I'm going to
That's a big.
check for keys in the visor.
No, is it the Edge that's the smaller one? Or
Yeah,
is it
like
The
a
Edge is the smaller
you
one.
find a Ford Edge.
Okay, the Escape is the big one.
Yeah, there's the Excursion. It's
I'm going to check in the visor for keys, because that's where you always check. I should get a luck roll at like a negative 55, because I've got a 60.
Fine.
58.
Nope.
I'm fine with that.
Can
So-
you
Some
get this thing
sunglasses
started?
fall down into your lap.
Sunglasses.
I'm going to attempt to hotwire the car. I assume I can just hotwire the car,
Yeah, I mean, what you do.
because I don't have skills for that.
It's fine.
I'm going to fast start the car into running.
You say, "Come on, baby, come on," and you're
Come
like
on.
knocking off
Run for me.
the ignition and putting wires together, and hey, it starts up.
I will take the driver's seat this time.
Okay. And I'm going to turn on the radio quietly, not all the way up. Oh, really? Okay.
On
Turn it
all
back
the
down.
channels.
They are broadcasting this all.
I'm just saying, if they can shut down satellite communication,
Well, you don't know what they do.
I'm not entirely
but
sure.
our cell phones
they
don't
did
work.
that.
Yeah,
That's
that's
satellite
probably
communication.
No, it's not. Cell
Yes,
phones
it
are not
is.
beaming to things orbiting the Earth,
Satellite phones are.
which you don't have.
You know,
The commander might, but you don't.
Your
The
cell phone is
Holy
special.
Roman Church
Oh,
has
okay.
whatever it needs.
So far, you've done anything that really helpful.
Yeah. Wow.
In any event,
So who's getting in where?
getting involved with
Give me. No, I should drive so you can have the rifle.
I don't trust your driving.
Amen to that, brother.
That horse came out of nowhere, and that is bullcrap.
I will be driving. I can shoot and drive.
No.
It was a herd of horses. It was not even.
It was 3 horses.
Which
It was
is more
around-
than a horse.
He was
do you
around the
not-
corner.
How do you not see a herd of horses?
He was driving
Come on.
pretty fast.
You
Probably
know,
faster than he should for the
we need
conditions.
Okay,
all the
real
guns
quick.
that we can get.
Really quick.
So you should not drive.
Which
I
one
don't
of
know
us
about
has
this
killed a
lady.
child?
None of us.
Roll spot hiddens as you guys are arguing.
Shit.
I get in the back seat.
I don't see anything.
I
Yeah.
actually
Missed that
see
one.
something.
Hey, there's a human shape coming out of the flag for us.
All right, I'm getting in the
Oh,
car.
we're
Drive.
jumping in the car.
Drive.
I
Drive,
take
drive,
off.
go, go, go.
Wait a second. Is everybody good here?
Commander, are you in the car?
Are you gonna get
Yes, I'm in the car.
Yes, then I take
I'm in
off
the middle of
towards
the
the.
back.
Are you shooting on the shotgun? You know where we're going.
I'm not getting up.
You can
front.
backseat
I can
drive. Let's
backseat
go.
drive.
Okay, I take off.
You go down.
Mow it
Did
down.
you say
The
81?
guy, the figure in the mist waves goodbye to you
Oh,
as
jeez.
you drive off.
Yeah, we definitely need to drive away from that.
Okay, so you're headed south in the southerly direction towards
Yes.
San Bruno.
Yes.
You need to give me a drive check.
I will also fasten my seatbelt.
Yeah, I think we all fastened our seatbelts.
Okay, that's good.
I do not.
41 under 60.
You're cruising along. You gotta drive on the curb occasionally. You see the same kinds of stuff. You're seeing more and more kind of graffiti spread throughout the city of symbols, phrases, he who shall not be named, it is coming, the dawning approaches, similar things to that.
Part of me wonders if it's like the cult and then some random Harry Potter fans.
There's some verses talking about Lost Carcosa and Dim Carcosa. Can I roll on Carcosa?
I already said what it is.
Did you? What's Carcosa?
It's part of the name of the play that she saw.
Oh.
Oh.
So it's probably where he lives.
That's
Sounds
not
good.
cool.
It's the suburbs of well-lit Carcosa.
Oh, yeah.
As you drive, you notice there are people on the streets now. There's some people that are just kind of staring there. There's some people that are walking as well.
Where are they walking to? Or toward?
They're walking in the south direction.
Okay.
Do they
Well,
have
You're
your
driving
RV?
fast enough where you're getting away from them. Or getting around them. They're not,
Okay.
don't seem to really be going after your car.
What do they look like?
Are they walking in that direction?
I would like you to give me a spot hidden. Because you're driving at a fairly fast clip, I would assume, right?
Yes, as fast as.
Jeez Louise. I can't see anything except the line on the road.
Anybody pass?
Should I try to see as I drive, or am I concentrating too much on driving?
Yeah, you're driving. You can give me a spot hidden.
I rolled a 1.
Give me a
Yeah,
sound
That's
check.
good in this game.
No!
You roll
Well, that's bad.
21. I got my sanity.
Give me a drive.
I'm gonna, statistically speaking, I'm going to fail something here soon. And I got a 17 under 60.
Okay. Well, you suddenly jerk the wheel as you see something that you're able to pull across. What you saw was one of these figures that's walking south. It was a human shape. And at first you thought that it was just some sort of like clever mask that, you've seen this band that is kind of a San Francisco picture called The Residents. They like to perform in these masks that are kind of like big eyeballs. But you kind of went pretty close by this and you realized that wasn't a mask. That was actually someone's head had been replaced by an eyeball. It's a human eyeball. That was walking kind of leisurely in southerly direction. Oh! And you two, who have chanted your magic spell, you can see pale. So, to reiterate that, you guys made that spell happen. So when you stepped outside, you saw some kind of, in the distance, kind of these pale violet columns kind of extending into the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Not really close, but there is a big, massive pale column directly towards where you're headed. It's kind of pulsing
Mm-hmm.
with light in strength.
I would tell the father.
I would just tell everybody that I see something ahead and describe it. In a
Does
way.
everyone know what you did?
Well, we
I
read
don't know
the
what he
spell
tells us.
together.
Oh, but you don't know what it meant, right? That's why you said you just went ahead and read it.
I don't have any occult and don't believe in magic, so
Oh,
I just went ahead and read it. So I didn't think that it was going to activate because
I
we were
would-
reading it.
Do a double take, looking at you, and then look at everybody else. Because I didn't tell anyone else.
So you were reading it out loud.
No, about what the spell actually meant that we're able to look into.
You told the father, right?
So there's
Yeah,
a
I
large
told the
column
father
of
that-
light
So
that's
you see
blinky
it
and pulsy. What does that mean?
Yeah, I don't see that.
That thing we read and I described the symbol of the word.
Who's we?
Me and the sister. She read the Greek portions. I read the Arabic portions. And it's supposed to be, you're supposed to be able to see the ways into the other worlds. I didn't see anything in the basement, but now that we're outside, I can see columns of light. There's a big one where we think the cave is.
There's a smaller one approaching kind of down your roadway as you drive.
The column?
Yeah, you can see it be kind of off to the side if you're heading straight forward.
We need to go to the cave. I'm sorry, if you relay that information.
Yeah, if you're telling us even the light's coming up ahead.
Well, given what we found on the laptop, I have to agree that ignore all these other ones. He's coming through the big door.
Should we avoid the little doors just so nothing else gets in our way?
Are you stopped while you're having this conversation, or are you still driving
I'm
forward?
still driving.
It's getting closer.
Is there a off road that I can take that's
Like, it's moving toward us?
No, you're moving.
You're
towards it.
moving towards it. We're in a moving vehicle.
Oh, no, I didn't have it, but I thought you meant like the one on the side was.
Yeah, you can take a jog off on the side street if you need to.
or I'm gonna take a turn off the side street.
You avoid the spot that they're describing to you. It's a block over.
Now once we get a little past it, well past it, we'll get back on the main road just in case. But
Okay.
Oh, by the way, did anybody else see that guy that had an eyeball for a head back that way?
What?
What?
No.
I
Yeah.
obviously misunderstood his English because that's not what he. Go ahead.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
That makes no sense at all.
Yeah, there was just a guy walking this direction. He didn't have a head. It was just a giant eyeball.
Yeah.
He seemed to be walking the direction we're going, so I think this is.
You know what?
where-
Why don't we just not talk about it and just drive?
Okay.
Like, that sounds like an amazing idea.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, I do think we should avoid all the little doorways into other worlds because unless we want to.
No.
No, we don't.
No. Just drive. We're good.
As you get further and further south in the city, you see there's more and more people that are kind of walking.
I'm not looking at them.
The streets are getting more full, and you can hear. Do any of you guys have the windows down?
No.
Nope.
No.
No.
Too
You
cold.
don't hear anything.
Are they dancing and cavorting and wearing yellow leather?
These don't seem to be those people.
Okay.
Are they only on the main street, or do they look like they're?
There's kind of more on the main street because that's kind of like those are the wider thoroughfares. And if you go down kind of the side streets, you can see like one or two people that you kind of go by every so often.
Anybody
It's
walking
not
the other way?
No.
They're all walking in the same direction.
No.
We're gonna stay on the side road for a while. I don't want to.
Okay.
Have to run over any citizen.
Isn't
Yet.
there just one bridge still?
You guys are going south where the bridges there aren't any bridges. So the bridges are if this is San Francisco here,
Mhm.
there's the Golden Gate Bridge goes here.
Mhm.
This is the Bay Bridge.
Right.
You're heading south on the peninsula, which will connect with like San Jose, and
okay.
it's just all land to the south. Basically.
Guys, I'm a little worried that we're going to have to fight our way through this army of people when we get there.
How far was the hike to the cave? How close will we get to the cave with this vehicle?
Not very close at all. I mean, it was like a 45-minute hike from outside Park.
There are roads. Well, you were going hiking to go hiking.
Mhm.
There are access roads.
Okay. So we
Oh,
just
well,
drive
you
a lot
know
closer.
those? No?
You're familiar with the area.
Okay.
You might not know
There
where.
are access roads.
You might not know
Okay.
this is way, but you can kind of figure out where you're
Okay.
So we don't need to hit up like a bike store or anything.
Okay, who is carrying what?
I have this on.
I just have that.
Who's got the vial of powder
I have the scroll with the chanting.
and dancing?
Who has a
Drugs.
flute?
I handed the flute to
I
him
have
back
the
when he
flute.
stated that
I have the flute.
Have you tried playing the flute at
musical
all?
person.
No.
Okay.
I will play the flute.
While we're driving?
Sometimes everybody plays the flute.
Are you playing it while you're driving?
He has to practice.
Right.
Yeah, you might want to
Actually, I'm going to check out the flute and see if there's any obstructions or anything like that.
No. You don't know how to play this kind of instrument. Well, you think that you can figure it out.
Is that like an instinctual figure it out, or like I know music so I can figure it out?
This kind of feels right in your hands.
I know that feeling though. I know that addiction.
You
So somebody else hold the flute, please.
Take it from me.
You want to try blowing on it?
Don't please.
Might be a good idea to try it out.
Don't blow it.
I don't know how to play any kind of instruments.
Yeah, it's like when you find a kazoo and you're just kind of like, I'm going to blow on this and see what sounds nice. You should probably try doing that.
No, I should.
I'm making the give me the flute gesture.
Fine, I hand it over.
Okay. Do you play the panpipes?
Do I have the?
Oh yeah, you feel it.
You should feel the.
Why not?
Now,
it's fun to make sounds.
Given my the fact that there are pipes and reed music that are used in some Shinto shrines, etc., and I have heard Mother play tunes or something somewhere around the thing. I'm gonna give it a try. I'm just gonna go. Oh no, we don't need it. Oh yeah.
You hear a guy blowing on some panpipes. Doesn't seem to be making any kind of like. It's just like. He's just blowing randomly on it.
I'm gonna try to do that.
Yep. It sounds like an amateur messing around with.
It's just amateur Zamfir.
Mr. Murakami, please cease that.
No.
I stopped.
Are any of you guys looking at sidewalls and stuff?
Yes.
I'm definitely looking.
Constantly scanning.
I hope to God you're looking outside.
He's like, I don't want to sing.
Okay. Commander Bear, to give me a spot hidden.
No.
Okay. Well, there's some people, but they don't seem to be doing anything.
Well, and I'm going to look around while I'm just sort of tooting.
Yeah, give me a spot.
Prior to stopping. Yes, made it. 30. Under 55.
As you're driving, and you're tootling
Under
around,
75, sorry.
you see kind of the people who are walking, they kind of like turn their heads away from the vehicle. As you drive past.
Are you going to keep playing?
I wish I wasn't Dixie. Oh no.
You don't know that song.
That song. Oh wait.
Are you going to keep playing after I asked you to stop?
No, I stopped. Okay. You said to stop.
Driving on. Rolling.
That's on.
What, Mr. Murakami, why did you play the pipes?
It felt like I should play them.
Give the pipes back to me, please.
No. Excuse me, where are you two seated in the car?
I'm in the middle.
You're in the middle of these two?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, carry on.
Just
please.
like this.
Yeah, that's ironic. Mr. Murakami, have you ever faced addiction before? The need to do something that you know is wrong?
Yes.
So you understand that what you have in your hands is nothing but another addiction. You can feel that pull. I felt it too. That's why I handed them away. I assumed it might just be affecting me, but it seems to be affecting you as well. Do you feel that same pull, sister?
I felt something.
I will be fine.
I am strongly pulled.
I'm afraid that I'm going to have to be a little rude, but if you play those pipes again, I will have to take them from you by force. Thank you. As long as we understand each other.
I look him up and down and I'm like, okay, you go with that. And I tuck them into my pocket and then put my arm over my pocket where.
Perfectly fine with me. So we continue on.
You've driven far enough that you're getting near the outskirts of the city, and it'd probably be another 15-minute drive towards to get to the kind of the base of the mountain and start heading up into it. And this area is a lot more spread out. It's getting a little bit more suburban, so you don't have kind of the blocking that you would have. By the buildings as you're going through kind of block by block, unless someone's looking down on the streets, they're not necessarily going to see. This is a little bit more spread out and a lot more visible. And you can see, you're kind of on the top of the hill as you kind of come over this crest that's, there's this valley, and then you can see where the rise of the mountain is in front of you. You can see there's a bunch of houses, and you can see there's a lot of people on the streets. And you see there's kind of solitary ones. People walking by themselves, just kind of heading towards the mountain. But you also see, on some of the major streets, you see large congregations. They're far away, but you can make out swaths of yellow clothes, and they seem to have some sort of thing that they're pushing, like this these big wheeled sort of, I don't know what you would call it, like carts. And on the carts there are sort of people that some of them almost seem to be worshiping.
The people pushing the carts are worshiping the people on the cart?
Yeah.
Or the people on the cart worshiping out?
They're kind of dancing and gesturing towards these figures that are on the cart.
Yeah, I think we need to get there before they do. If I wasn't going top speed, I'm putting down as
Okay,
fast
so
as I
you're
can.
planning to kind of drive around them?
Yeah.
Drive through this? Okay. Give me a drive check.
30.
Under 60. Under 60.
Okay, he is going really fast, and he's...
That's a 20.
Oh, I see.
You're still there.
Yeah.
What?
It's 10. This is 0.
Yeah.
I was doing it wrong.
So you're driving really fast, and you're having to dodge people because there's people just walking the road, and you kind of you try and swerve as much as you can, but there's not a major street doesn't have one of these kinds of congregations.
If it comes to a dodge a person or wreck, I don't dodge a person.
Yeah, but I mean, even if you hit a person at full speed, it's probably going to mess up your car. Even if you're driving, something pretty big, people are.
Yeah.
It's
It's like hitting a deer.
But as you come close, you can see that the figures, everyone's going to make sanity checks.
Hey, I finally made one.
Yay!
Yes.
I got 100.
Oh,
That's right. Anybody else fail?
Oh, I did.
You failed?
Miserably failed, like Matt, or just failed?
By 30 points.
Okay. As you're driving past, you see that on top of these carts are people who have eyeballs for heads, some that have had their heads replaced by just what look like to be kind of tongues, just kind of flapping in the air. There's one that seems to just have kind of like what looks like to be kind of what you assume would be kind of an ear. It's kind of like this weird saucer with a hole in it. And there's multiples of these. Some that have pieces of what look like they might be jaw and teeth.
Oh my god, what are these things?
And the people are chanting, and you can hear
These are the faces.
inside the car the laughing and the screaming of the people that are around this, worshiping these ones, and you can hear these chants, and they're singing the songs, and you can hear all of the hideous laughter that's emanating from these people, and you can see that they've got the bells hooked into them, and the sigils carved into them, and they've got the yellow, and these are the cultists that are worshiping these things. The clothes of all of the people that seem to have bloomed into these other shapes are all normal clothes. So everyone who passed is going to lose 3 sanity. And everyone who failed, roll a d10. Did you lose 10?
Yeah. So that would be a fifth. More than a fifth.
Okay.
Fifth, as
Well,
in
you
one
would
go,
drive.
or
Yeah, because he's had hours since his last time we rest.
You immediately are revolted by this.
8?
Yes.
And in your revulsion, you kind of spit up a little bit of the food that you ate last night. And then your immediate instinct is, well, I've got a bag full of heroin in my pocket, and I'm going to snort some right now because that's a great idea.
and I play the panpipes. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just gonna go. Doo, doo, doo.
Yeah, I pull out the bag of heroin and move to.
I knock it out of his hand.
I'd probably pull out the journal, give me something solid to put it on. Pull out the bag of heroin.
I totally flipped the journal.
You
Or
can
I
snort it.
moved to hit it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I moved to hit it so it goes out of his hand. What do I roll for that? I try to stop him.
Slap fight is not listed as a skill.
It would probably be fist or grapple, I would assume.
Or oppose
Yeah, give me
dex.
fist. You want to roll a dodge?
Yeah.
Nice. 45 under 50.
Oh, 25 over 22.
Okay. So she smacks it, but now there's just a big cloud of junk in the air.
And so I go.
Yeah. Okay.
And I grabbed the ventilation mask from earlier and just put it on. Like,
I've had mine
You're
on
taking
the
it
whole
off? Why did
time.
you take it off? Yeah.
Well, when we were in the bookstore.
No.
So this actually,
I guess you're right. Outside,
you actually do get a little bit of a buzz, and it's been a long time for you, so you don't need much. You're kind of,
Yeah.
your body's kind of attuned to this, even though it's been years. But you kind of feel yourself kind of melt into the seat a little bit and relax, and you're going to be calm right now. You're okay. The sister's okay.
Do we need to crack a window to ventilate
It
the
might
cloud?
be a good idea. Sister, they don't have any breathing masks on.
How you lost 8 sanity?
We can hear them with the windows up. Mr. Murakami, correct? Could you play the flute so we don't hear their sounds?
You know, I don't think that's a good idea.
But it might be. You don't really care.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Whatever comes from that cannot be as bad as what's coming out of that. If something is, these people are not willing. I cannot believe this many people in this town wants to be those eye thingies.
Didn't the ritual say that would be the opposing force or the healing force?
Playing
I think so.
the music on the parchment would be. I don't know.
Please
if
play us
randomly
a
just
tune.
blowing a tune on the.
I'm gonna
What
take
does the music on the
single
parchment
notes,
say?
and then
You're playing?
yeah, I'm just gonna go up one note each, and hold it for like a 3 count.
It's
4
almost
count.
like a path kind of open up in front of you, and you're actually able to drive a lot easier now. So it seems like they're almost forcefully
Never
ignoring
played
you.
before.
I concede. You were right.
She's asked me what the parchment says.
Which one?
The
The
ritual.
The music.
Music.
It's got kind of musical notations
Yeah.
and sort of movements, and it seems to be instructing in some sort of song and dance, essentially. Ritualized.
The opposite of
Can't
the
you
rich
play
of the
that?
dance that we were.
It's not for an instrument.
We can't dance
The
in the
dance
car.
if we want to.
you said there was
It's
a-
verbal. It's
We can leave our
it's got
friends
like
behind.
syllables to
We
it. There's
kinda
like
are.
language to it.
Oh,
Cross.
So it's something that would have to be sung and kind of moved.
okay. What are the words to the song?
They're not. I mean,
Give me the parchment.
it's a lot of syllables.
Where's the parchment? I want to take it.
Take it from me. Here. I'm gonna like hand it to her, like
Yeah.
not realizing I whacked her in the face with it.
Yeah.
Not like super hard to kill her.
Yeah.
Lord! Who else wants the parchment?
Roll the parchment.
Death by paper cut.
Death by parchment.
So
It does like 1d5.
1d5, yes.
I unroll it to take a look at the song.
Yeah.
I decapitated. There we go.
It's a series of, there's kind of syllables that look like nonsense where it's like,
Oh, like so.
yeah, it's not that, but it's the equivalent thereof.
Yeah.
There's different kinds of like verbalizations that you're supposed to make. You don't recognize it as being any kind of language that you know.
Okay.
Do you try to sound them out?
Well,
Out loud?
I'll like say them in the order that they're in, but I won't try to sing them like to any.
I
tune.
don't know if we should be reading things from scrolls and moving
He's
vehicles.
playing the pipes.
It worked.
Okay, read that
I
scroll.
Is
But
there any
the
correlation to
Computer.
between the
What about the
chant
computer?
that the cultists were using and
You said something
What?
about a computer.
noise she's
No.
making?
There are similar sounds
Would it be
present
like-
in the verbalizations.
Could I conjecture that it's the opposite of?
Not the opposite. It's like, say you watched like, you watched a movie in Russian and then you go to like a Russian restaurant. There's some people talking next to you. You can recognize these are kind of like similar languages, maybe even the same language.
Okay.
No, you're fine.
Does
What?
anything happen when I start saying the words out loud?
You're saying them without any kind of musical intonations.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out the words themselves.
It kind of feels thick and clumsy, like you're trying to form unnatural phrases.
Now, is her fa, la, so, di? Is that the type of? Is that what you're doing mostly?
Yeah, I'm
Or-
trying to figure out.
I'm gonna try to follow her.
Well, there's actual like musical notation that's been scripted out that like you can kind of see where it's supposed to like go up and down. You don't know what those you can't read
Yeah,
sheet music.
I
Yeah.
do nothing.
So you don't
That's
actually
why
know
I
what
was
goes.
asking
Ah.
him.
So
Like,
these
what
two
is that?
are very focused on playing and reading, correct?
He's gonna pull the other bag.
No, I'm going to quietly open one of the bottles or packets of pills in my pocket
Yeah.
while in my pocket and like finger out a couple of pills and quietly just pop them in my mouth.
That's great. You are super relaxed.
Yeah.
And you can
Because there's nothing better than being more high than being also more high.
yeah, because it's really cool because you can see this kind of this like you didn't take any hallucinogens, you almost feel kind of like you're in this state where you're awake and you're asleep, and you can see this beautiful purple light that's kind of emanating up from where you're going. You've got to go there. 'Cause that's where it's all going to happen, man.
Right on.
That direction. You feel like you know what you need to do.
I do.
I'm feeling good things.
So now we gotta get the other two of you in this dream state.
I'm fine just driving.
Take off the masks, man.
Okay, guys.
Father Tom,
You're drawing on the back.
What are you handing me?
I'm laying out the bat, the shaft of the bat.
What's going on?
Oh,
Your knife.
he wants you to carve.
Oh,
the
okay,
thing.
I got this.
In a moving car.
So the high guy pulls out the knife in the moving car and holds onto your back the best hand possible. And I will try and carve it in there. I don't know.
Give me a knife roll at a severe penalty. Tell me what you roll.
I got a 38 under my normal 40, which is not terrible.
Yeah, it's enough so that the knife, you kind of like, and you kind of just barely miss kind of like stabbing him in the stomach, essentially. It was like, whoa! You're kind of flailing around. As
Put
you
a
try
giant
and carve.
gash in the car. In the
Yeah, you take a chunk off of wood off the bat, and you know, he's kind of waving it around, but he hasn't cut anybody. That's a.
I got this. Flip it over. I'll do it again. Hold on.
I'm
We
going
got
to
more
stop,
bats.
Like, I reach for his wrist to stop him flailing. Right.
Sister, I've got this. Don't worry about it.
No, you don't have this.
I can see the shaft too.
No, you... What? What?
The blue, the purple, the gateway. I can see the gateway. It's right there, and I like literally show you where it's at.
I'm like trying to figure out psychologically why he would be able to see it when he doesn't. He hasn't seen it.
Roll psychology.
Why the drugs would affect him like that? Like what kind of drugs I would have.
He passed God on the way up. He's higher than him right now.
Oh yeah.
You passed?
76 under 85.
Okay, so you remember that at some point, when they're talking about the ritual to seal, what you presume is to seal whatever these entrances are, that someone needs to be in a waking, dreamlike state.
Mm-hmm.
Aha!
You know that he hasn't taken any kind of like hallucinogens or anything sort of like that, but he's taken enough downers that he's in sort of a mental state where his mind is not functioning the way it should. That things are probably very dreamlike, and perhaps this has opened his sort of perception into places where it might not be normally.
Right.
And so he might be sensitive now to the world that you yourself are now sensitive to through the use of magic.
Okay.
And he's taken just enough drugs for this to happen.
Right. Okay. So, was I able to grapple? Do I need to roll a grapple for his wrist?
Are you fighting her?
He can't.
Probably not. You
Yes,
just
and
took a
only
walk.
in the sense that I don't understand why she's stopping me. But
I'm
I'm
gonna say
probably
that-
not a very good fighter.
Can I ask you clarification?
Yes.
Did you chew the pills?
No.
Before you swallowed them? No. Okay.
Yeah. So, but he's pretty loopy. You can kind of, he's like, but you've got your hand around the wrist, you can actually kind of take it.
I'll grab, and then I'll hand it this way to Mr.
And I present the bat.
What? No, take the knife.
Oh.
You can carve it. Take the knife. Oh my gosh.
I can do that, guys.
No,
I got
you
this.
can't.
Pull over. I'll
I
get it real
cannot
quick.
see.
As you stop typing,
Oh, it looks like this.
your car starts getting pounded on as you're driving past.
Play the music!
Starts slamming, and you're free to move.
Oh my god.
Don't distract the man with the pipe. Just carve the
And I'm
symbol
gonna
of the
just
wood.
keep tooting
Alright,
and hand out.
so I take the bat and I start
I don't let you
gingerly
have the bat.
carving
I just let the.
Pull the big marker. I start gingerly carving it in there.
All right, you're being careful.
Yeah, it's not like it's a person.
Okay.
You can cut them.
You get to the base of the mountain.
But
Yes.
as we're driving, after I'm done doing that, I'm gonna crawl over him to the other side where his pocket is and try to get the rest of the drugs out.
That might have to struggle.
I don't know. Now there's a lady in my lap. A very young lady, by the way. She's 30, and I am nearly 50.
You're a
You're
priest.
a father.
Not when I was a drug doer.
Yeah. Now you're gonna be a defrost priest.
Okay, so do you struggle when she starts pulling the crap out of your pocket?
Probably as much as possible.
Okay.
Are you
It's
going to
it's not
focus?
much.
Are you going to focus more on fondling her while she's doing that?
Please, no. That's
No,
more-
no. I would probably want to keep the drugs.
I was just checking.
It'd be even more awkward if like Jesse or Johnny were playing the girl.
Okay, that's.
What's your strength?
10.
Okay.
Minus what?
9. So she's at a 45.
Minus, yeah. You should be at a 1 strength.
What's
right?
your strength?
My strength is a. Oh, 9.
40, 45. If she's doing
You get it away. You get it away.
Right.
She's got your drugs now.
Oh, man. That's your drugs.
You got several like handful. Not several. You got like 2 handfuls where there's like he secreted
Right.
away a bunch of different stuff.
So, we brought all of our stuff with us. Did we bring the duffel bag and everything? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
in the trunk.
So,
You didn't reach the trunk from your car or from your seat. Excuse me.
because it's in the back. It's like a
Yeah.
little hatchback thing. Okay.
Well, no, because you're in like a crossover SUV, so it just goes over the seat
Yeah.
just directly. There's no like separate trunk.
So, I would lean over the seat and just throw it in the back. Okay. Just throw it in the back.
That's fine. Okay.
So he can't reach it. But the thing is, I relay the information that he can see it in the state that he's in, and remind him of the ritual.
Okay.
Or whatever the thing is.
Oh, so he can see it now?
Ever so.
Yes.
Ever
Pass
so
some of that up here.
calmly and stealthily.
I elbow you
I'm
in the
going
chin.
to try and climb into the back.
He is
elbow him.
flopping all over the back. You got people that are just rolling all around in the back now. You got one guy who's off to the side playing furiously at these pipes, which is really super annoying. And then these people are like, ah, and just climbing all over the top of each other, trying to go in the back. It is a mess. So you're gonna have to do a driving check.
What are you guys doing back there?
Being high.
Stop it!
3360.
Wow, nice job. So you're able to successfully ignore this horrible nonsense going on in the back and keep control of the vehicle.
You should tell us.
Sit
I will turn
down,
this car around.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
human
we're not
city
too far
death.
yet.
You are not acting like a man of God.
If you kids don't settle down back there,
As you get closer to the foot of the mountain, you notice that there is, the one large column of purplish light that's sort of pulsing, but there's also what you thought was one mass. There's a bunch of smaller ones now that are becoming very visible that you're coming closer to.
so
These are going to be unavoidable to drive past.
tell us where to go. You're the only one who sees the purple light, right? Do you guys see the purple light, or do you guys just
I
see the
see
yellow?
it.
You see all of them? Okay. Good, then we don't have to
So
rely
I
on
have
your driving.
navigate.
Do any of them look more important or feel?
Yeah, there's one big one.
I'm gonna point at that is the one we need to go to. This is the biggest.
I agree.
You
But
stop
the
trying
others
to
are
climb into the back.
Oh no.
Unavoidable.
He's like, where do we
Like,
go? And
hey,
I'm
that
like,
one.
over that one. We got this.
I'm just gonna say you're flopping around so much, and that it's the car. He's driving fast, and you're going over some roads that are not the best, so it's bouncing around a lot. So you're both kind of just tangled up at this point, just sort of flailing. And he's sloppy and almost all like rubbery,
Yeah.
and it's just rough. And you guys are both just getting jostled.
Yeah.
And I assume at this point you both have your seatbelts off.
Yes.
Can I lead him in somewhere that's going to make him incapacitated?
How close are the people?
Do you want to cause some physical damage?
No.
I just
No.
want to
Do we want
make
to-
him sit still.
Do we want to incapacitate?
Psychologically,
where possible?
he's taken a lot of painkillers, so unless you do
Oh.
something that's extremely
It's not-
painful,
yeah.
he won't feel it. And even
Yeah.
then, he still might not feel it.
Nice.
He's doped to the gills.
How close are the people around the car? If I took a moment to not pipe, would they be honest?
At this moment, not. You see a lot of them behind you, and they're kind of walking slowly. You seem to be past any of the big kind of clumps of worshippers.
I take bite down. Should I hit him?
No.
And I wave
no,
with the bat.
No.
Let's give him a concussion. That'll help.
Wow.
It's another dreamlike awakened state.
When you wake up from it.
Do we need to navigate around the smaller ones, or?
He said some of them are unavoidable, so I'm just going to go through them.
Right.
Are you describing them to him?
The pillars.
Yes.
Yeah, you're pointing them out.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
As
going
you
to try
point
to
them out,
avoid them as possible.
You two, when they point to them, you see. You don't see any of the purple light, but what you do see is sort of, kind of almost a thinning of the material world. It's almost as if what you're looking at, you can still see. You're looking at one point as you're driving past, you're seeing, this slope of this hill, and there's this grassy greenness, and then a little bit of it looks kind of just paler and thinner, almost as if you can see something beyond it, almost as if it's translucent, as if it was made out of glass or plastic, or it was, stained glass of some sort. Not quite that forceful, but you can see something past it, beyond it. An alien realm, maybe. Something that doesn't look right to you. Someplace where there's purple skies and strange cities that aren't built the way that people would live, maybe. But you just get a glimpse of it, and it's gone as you go past. But that's kind of what you're seeing when they start pointing out these things. You start seeing things where the world is thinner than it should be. It's not quite right.
Do we get any of that image, or do we just see?
You see kind of this
zone purple?
Yeah, it's kind of just, this is where you can go somewhere. And you don't see it where you guys are.
I'll explain the other world to the rest of them. See if anybody else sees it also. Anybody see anything somewhere?
Once he describes it, go ahead. Once he describes it, can I see it? See through?
When you get close to one, those of you who've had your vision altered, you can see kind of, because the light is pretty blinding when you get close to it. Once you see it, you can see, oh yeah, that doesn't look right. You can't see the colors because all you're seeing is this kind of purple haze, but you're seeing beneath it, there's, shapes and structures and depth in a place where there should not be depth.
Okay.
Like in the middle of the road, there's this hole to some other place.
And do we drive through one of them?
You said you drove over, right?
I'm going to try to drive them around as much as possible.
Yeah, okay.
If I have to go through, I'll go through. But
It looks like you see some of them are like, they're like on rocks and things. It doesn't look like anything's going through it yet.
Okay. So I have an idea, so you guys can see this stuff.
I don't know if I want to.
Okay.
I can get it.
What is the
No,
idea?
that's fine.
Yes.
Take the pills that you took, so you can see it.
Your cell
I
phone
knew the
vibrates.
I knew the athlete wouldn't do
It
it.
does.
Yeah.
I
We all-
check it instantly.
Do we all hear that?
Yeah, you hear buzzing sound. It says,
My phone
Case
sound.
Yellow Serpent. This is a contingency plan for when there's an uncontrolled contagion to nuke the immediate area.
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
So do I have a cell signal now?
Somehow they had enough juice to get it through whatever is happening. You're not quite sure how your thing works. I mean, like you've got a
Satellite
special
phone.
cell phone that's encoded and encrypted, and so maybe they were just like giving you information to get you out of the area, but you don't seem to be able to call anybody. You have any bars?
Okay, I'll respond back. Delay.
Yeah. And you know that this could mean this is going to happen in 10 minutes. This could happen in a day. That they try and scout the vision for, but it means that there's something radioactive on the way.
Yeah,
Do you have cell service? Did you get a text?
I got yes, I have a new message. I'm gonna try and get at
What was the message? Is it news from
it's
other
bad.
places? Is it anywhere else, or is it just here?
It's just
What is bad?
news. They're going to. They're gonna. They might nuke us if we don't solve this problem.
What did you almost say? Go ahead.
Hiroshima.
You recognize that voice? Oh, you didn't say it.
I didn't say it that way. But I look at you and like, they might nuke us if we don't solve this problem fast.
Tell them
Do
to
I
delay
understand what
that you're
nuke us
en route
means?
to.
Yeah, that's pretty
So
universal.
I do type out delay proceedings en route to source of problem.
Sure.
I mean,
Okay,
en route to the source of the problem. Solution imminent.
great. So you try and get that out. You hope that it went out.
Send it.
You have no idea whether it worked.
Does it look like it's on my cell phone in real world it says trying to send Like it'll give me a little.
Yeah, it does that for like
Sending or sending
5 minutes, and then it just stops. You're like, I don't know. If
Doesn't
it
give
went
me
through
an
or not.
error. It doesn't give
No,
me
it
a
doesn't say
positive information.
This is on like some
Also-
sort of weird secret cell phone network too.
Okay.
Military.
There's some stuff going on in Oakland for real.
Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah. They're doing these weird data centers and stuff. Anyways, what?
Nothing. I love conspiracy theory. Let's go.
No, this was reported on the actual place.
Welcome to Conspiracy Theory Hour.
So, you think it's a conspiracy that there's data mining going on by the U.S. government?
No.
It's happening.
No, it is not. We are not discussing that on the podcast.
Well, but all I was going to say was that I was really mad because I lost my backups to my sand, and I asked the government for the back, and they won't give them to me.
Copyright, man.
So, do we arrive at the cave?
You arrive at a point where you think, once you're close, you've got to get out of your car.
I suggest we get out of the car and you keep playing.
How many people
It's right
are
up
around
this way.
this place? Or have
You're
we
kind
beat
of-
the crowd?
You're in a little bit of the woods, and so you don't see anyone in the immediate area. And you actually think the cave is not actually directly under where the purple is. You think that where the entrances of the caves are is actually kind of
off to the side.
back around.
Maybe we might have to go underneath to get to.
Which is probably good, because you probably don't go right to it.
Right.
Because there's, in that direction, there's a lot of sounds coming. People laughing and cheering, and it sounds like, like a football game's going on, or a baseball game, or...
I'm going to stand uncomfortably
Except,
close
like-
to the pipe player.
If the sport was, like, killing people instead of throwing a ball.
We'd
But, like,
be
the
world
people were still, like,
champions.
really jazzed about it,
Nice. Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's going on over there.
Yeah.
Unless
You
you're
guys
gonna,
want to go check that out?
No.
No.
We want to go
unless
towards
you're
the
gonna
cave.
dry hump my leg, there is no uncomfortably close.
Okay, yeah.
I am going to start walking towards the where I think the cave is,
Okay.
without anyone.
You
No.
feel like you know, actually.
You follow.
We're keeping pace with him at the very least, if
Are
not
you still
leading
playing?
him.
There's
Oh, yeah.
one line.
And you still have the thing,
Yes, I have the parchment with the stuff on it.
and I carry my shotgun.
You guys don't have a gun?
Take that away from him.
I'm going to take the shotgun away
like
from him.
with the mind that I am being responsible, and there's no reason to do anything. I'm gonna carry it like I was, or as best I can figure. Like
Yeah, that's
I was.
reasonable. Yeah.
So
Father, you're gonna have to perform the ritual. Somebody give the gun to the nun.
You're really good. You're really good with the knife anyway. Really good. The
I
knife
don't-
is so
but they
good
took
with you.
the knife.
Get in the knife and get the
I'm
gun.
going to take the shotgun.
I
I will
will.
stop tooting for a second and take the
I will
shotgun.
resist the shotgun theft.
You don't need to roll it. He grabs it from you.
Yeah, I figured as much.
I hate it.
That was mean.
Okay.
Why did
Give
you
it
do
to the
that?
nun. I mean, even if she's not best shot.
What?
at least
Why, Mr. Japanese
one of us
guy?
are
It's a
better.
mouthful of a name. Why did you take my gun?
Because you're in no condition to
So
use it
is he
properly.
like the way you hold a proper pipe is lightly, right?
Not this one.
You
No.
hold it like this.
Okay. I'm gonna smack it out of his hand, or try to, which means I'll probably be like a foot away and just whip the air.
No,
give me a fist.
Do it. Yes.
I will interject.
I'm not gonna complete it.
I'm-
He just starts flapping his
I'm
arms.
like 80. I'm 17 over.
Yeah, he starts flapping his arms in the direction of Kosuke.
Can we
Just blowing at
go
you.
now?
Fine.
Before we all die of radiation poisoning?
Oh no, there will be no radiation poisoning.
See, nothing to worry about.
Incredible heat for a fraction
Yes.
of a second and then nothing.
We're
You hear a
walking.
low droning buzz over it.
This
That'd be the worst ending.
So I'm
That
gonna,
would be the best ending.
so I'm gonna keep going towards the cave.
Yeah, so you're going through some underbrush and you're kind of going around it. It's getting really steep where you are. You're kind of having to crawl almost to certain points. You can't avoid making noise, even if you guys have really high sneak, which I don't know if you do.
I do.
We're playing a pipe anyway.
Oh no, never mind.
No, you don't.
I can hide.
I made these characters. I know what you have.
I can hide. I can't see.
So you're kind of crashing around, but he's blowing the pipes. You don't seem to hear anything kind of around you, except for that low roar coming from farther up, which is just sounds horrifying to you. and you find kind of a very small opening for a cave that you have to kind of wiggle into. That's kind of covered up by like a bush, but you think this might be something.
You're gonna slide right in there.
Slide right in there. Do you have a flashlight with you?
I do. I did. Yes, I do. I have a cop flashlight. Take that one from me.
All right. So you go
You
through.
can have that.
I go in after him.
I take his
will go.
flash. No.
I'll go after the man with the rifle ready.
The pipe guy needs to hurry to come on. He's got the music.
Is it one at a time into the opening?
So I mean, you have to slither through for about
We're
10 feet or so.
spelunking.
and then the cave kind of opens up, and there's some dripping limestoney type things and stalactites, and you can see farther down there's a chamber that looks like it's been hewn, carved out of the rock, and that's where you see that symbol that you've carved into all of your bodies by now has been carved. It's large. It's maybe about a foot, 2 feet high, several feet wide, hewn into the rock in kind of this like little alcove.
I come in last.
Right.
Alright, so we start making our way toward the thing.
I don't think it's that far.
Is that like the end of the cave? Does it go on? Is there any other passages in or out?
This looks like it's it.
So
How
just
does
the one entrance.
Who has the powder?
I have the powder.
Okay.
You want the powder? I'm going to wait at the entrance.
No,
Or-
you may need the powder at the entrance if somebody tries to get through.
True. If I'm in the cave and I start shooting an assault rifle, we will never hear again.
Well, and we won't survive. It'll ricochet. Okay, I'm high. Never mind.
You can try and get that out. Try and get the thought out.
But the bouncing the all around.
I'm going to stay at the entrance.
Is there anything that I can roll out the
sister.
parchment on?
You're gonna hold that open, parchment, and I'm gonna tell you guys how to do it.
You have to do it.
We all have to do it.
These
It,
two
it
aren't
takes more
ready
than
to
one
do it.
voice, right?
It's said that the more power that is lent to it, the more powerful.
We got like as many of us as possible.
All of
Right,
us.
Would you give him a
So-
gun and you stay at the entrance with me?
No,
No, he has the
you.
pipes.
If
Oh,
something's
yeah, the
gonna
pipes.
wiggle through that thing, like
One of you.
One of
You-
us is
One of
fine.
you is fine.
Yeah.
You have a
Stay
bat.
out
Just you have a bat. So one
Okay.
at a time, club them over the head like rats.
Okay, so
Moles.
I open the parchment and walk toward the symbol.
Alright. So who's going to be performing the song and dance?
I will attempt at best I can with everyone but Jesse.
Okay.
Whether they want to or
All of
not,
us
they're
can
going
do
to
it.
all do it.
Is anybody going to take any drugs besides you?
I didn't think we needed to because we had the spell. And,
It says
Right.
something about giving up power.
He doesn't have the spell on.
no,
But
that's
he's
why
right
he's
in
not
front of it.
participating.
Yes, I'm participating.
It said. Does
Yeah.
it say that we all have to be in a dream?
No,
state?
it
It's just
said that
with-
they need to be in a
But it also says you have to give up a certain amount of power.
Yeah, that's. I'm not worried about that.
Well,
I'd
giving up
give up whatever
your
I need.
not mentality. Yeah, giving up control is giving up power.
I mean, I mean that though.
It may mean that one of us needs to be the human sacrifice. That's
There's
what I
no
was thinking.
sacrifice. It's not a real sacrifice.
No, it's that. At one point, it said sacrifice.
Yeah,
Of
sacrifice of power.
Right, the
That's
life's
not
blood
your
is
life.
the strongest power you can get.
No,
Yeah.
that's not going there.
When we
I'm telling
cast
you
that
guys.
spell, there was some kind of drain on me for a minute, and I don't feel that anymore. I think that's what it meant.
I think then
So
we need to
will Ritual.
take whatever he took.
So what does it say?
It's in the light of day, or under the light of day, it requires a sacrifice of power. In a waking dream state, the dance will be danced and the chant will be chanted. We all have, and the more that it's power that's sacrificed, the more.
We
powerful
all
it's
We
need
all
to
need
be
to take the drugs.
under the effects.
Fine.
So
So I'm the only responsible.
I will go to the back of the
Yes.
journal and
Yes.
rip out a piece of paper and roll it in, and we will lay out some heroin for everyone.
You don't necessarily. I remind you, you have
The heroin.
heroin, coke. The heroin's actually gone. Yes, you've got cocaine,
Oh, yeah.
pharmacological pills, blotter paper that's got LSD on it, and you probably still have weed.
Actually, we could probably just
Do the
have
LSD.
them do the. Well, Can I roll my pharmaceuticals to see what combination of this would be best to achieve the same
You've
state?
The quickest
already
would
in
be
a
acid.
high state.
But that doesn't mean I don't know about my drugs.
Druggies, when they're doing drugs,
Yeah, so I just like the paper. I'm just like,
Yeah.
like this.
slap on their face.
Yeah, I'm just like.
No, say
Power
you
of
have to do this so that the purple light and all the monsters will go away.
This, I take the paper.
I'm just gonna like just pull this
Pull
off.
a little bit.
Just No, yeah, uh-huh.
I take the paper.
Can I
Yeah.
have a shotgun and a
You
handgun
don't.
also?
It just gives you a piece.
Yeah, just a little bit.
It's
Okay.
probably a good
Yeah.
idea.
Oh,
I'm keeping the
Good.
baseball
That's
bat.
awesome.
I just, he's all, and I'm like, okay, I'll.
so the whole paper.
Did he eat
Yeah.
all the paper? Did he eat
No,
all the
you
LSD?
have to know.
I just
You
put
don't
it in my mouth and chew it.
Sisters, it's too late.
He didn't take all of it, did he?
Yeah.
All of it?
Yeah. I just went,
You feel real tingly. Nothing's happening right now.
Sister, it's too late.
Did he eat
So
all the LSD?
the second best option is what I'm gonna go with next.
Chewing the pills?
Probably cocaine with some pills.
Speedball, like a
Yeah.
hillbilly speedball. Okay.
So I
You
will.
start grinding these things up and out.
Yeah. And then have them, I guess, snort them. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. So to make this clear, Jesse is the only one. Lauren Cook is the only one who is not doing
He has also
Yes.
given me the shotgun and handgun also.
I
this.
only
Sir,
have
what are
one.
you wielding? All
I'm
the
just
five guns?
playing them
He's
beside
got-
me so that the altered stated people are not going to shoot
Holding
me.
them.
You start feeling really weird because you've probably never done this before, and you haven't either. Not me. The three of you have never probably done any sort of illegal drugs.
Well, nothing this hardcore.
No. And in your position, if you had a history of drug use, they probably would not lie.
No, but I'm imagining at most I've tried marijuana.
You might have.
and never inhaled, right?
Yeah.
And so things you just kind of feel total daze. The two of you, the painkiller, you're like mouth gets all dry and your heart kind of is racing, and then but it's like everything's moving kind of slow and molasses, but you're like you want to go, you want to move, but it's really hard. And he starts dancing and singing, and it just sounds so good.
Yep.
And you dance and sing along with him.
Can I pan pipe it while I'm dancing?
At first, and then that turns into a snake, so that's something to put away.
Okay, I just throw that as far away towards the front of the cave because I can't get it.
And
Out
you
the
see
bag.
the shadows in the cave that are being kind of you've got the flashlight, and he's kind of moving around as he dances, and so the shadows they're kind of moving out and they're dancing with you, and it's kind of scary, but it's kind of fun, and you want to join in.
I'm in.
And so while they're doing this, you can hear the people kind of scuttling through the passageway, and someone is like, "Hey, can you keep it down in there?" And he's coming towards you.
Has the pipe stopped playing?
Yes.
I'm going to quickly look behind me.
while
Do
we're
I happen
dancing-
to see the pipes anywhere?
Oh yeah, you can see the place.
While we're
How far
dancing.
away are they?
They're 10 feet away.
No, we had to
No, that's a
slither
terrible
through-
idea. Never mind. No, that's a great idea. While we're dancing, I'm gonna look for the bags and try and kick one of them open to show him like the tear gas canisters.
Okay. It's gonna be great with a close face.
God.
I'm going
So
to,
he
I'm
kicks
gonna,
over a bag and there's a bunch of tear gas rattling around as well.
I'm going to go for the pipes.
Okay, you got the pipes.
I'm going to try to blow them also.
Okay, you're going on the guy's like, that's not gonna work on me. And he pops his head through.
Club him.
Pow.
Are you playing the pipes?
No, I'm shooting.
You were playing the pipes.
I was, yes.
Okay.
He says it's not working. I'm going to.
So you got to draw the gun. So first, he's gonna be able to squeeze out by the time you're drawing it. 'Cause
Uh-oh.
He moves pretty fast.
Ooh.
He's a guy who's dressed kind of in motley. That's tan kind of leather. That's kind of like all hide patched, and you're pretty sure that that's kind of a weird leather, and it's also probably a weird kind of skin that's been dyed. And he's actually fully clothed, dressed up kind of like a jester, except that his smile kind of extends all the way to the ears, and it's not that there's like some sort of cut. His mouth is just larger than it should be. And he's got a little bit more teeth than he should, and he's got a little bit more eyes than he should, because where one person would have 2 eyes, he's got kind of like a cluster of 3 in each socket.
Oh,
And he's laughing, and he looks pretty insane. And you're gonna roll sanity now.
16 under 34.
Nice! So you just know that this thing should die. Because it is an abomination!
I will try to make it that away.
Yeah.
I don't care about my eardrums.
So the rest of you are dancing.
Is it possible while we're dancing to do anything else, like punch things?
Not at this point. It's as it progresses, possibly. You are terrified by this thing that just came out of the hole. So you want to dance away from it.
Yes. 2 questions. Is it hot in here?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Second question, is there any compulsion at all that I need to remove this clothing?
Absolutely. That seems
Okay.
like a good thing to do while you're dancing.
Absolutely. Okay. Then I'm going to dance towards the back of the cave while stripping to the waist.
You also feel there's kind of like a glow coming from you, and that glow needs to be seen.
Oh, yes.
You gotta let that out, and it's so beautiful.
Because
It's
I'm
beautiful
an
right
Adonis
now.
already. Got it.
You are. You've got these great muscles, and you don't show it.
I
And
should.
You want to look at it. You look at it now, and you want everyone to look at you looking at
Excellent.
it. And so that's
all
happening.
in a suit, because that sounded like an awesome plan.
So
Since my symbol is also on my back.
you all, as you're all dancing, also you kind of feel like your minds are sort of touching, but you also feel like something's being pulled from you. Something you feel very happy, but you also feel kind of this ineffable sadness, and that's happening while we're in combat over here with LorneScott. So he is fully out of the hole, and you also notice that his arms are a little bit too long.
There's too much person in this place.
Yeah, especially because he's also inflating.
He's inflating?
Yeah, like he's adding on mass. So, go ahead. What's your dex?
My dex is 13.
That's cool.
Stick it with the knife, he'll pop.
Well,
I have all the
bullets
guns.
will
I
put
have
3 holes in him.
I have no knife.
Okay, so take your firearm action.
Now,
I missed.
he's at point blank range, right?
No, because he moved in deeper into the cave to kind of grab the
Yeah.
pipe, so he's
He's about 10 foot
farther away.
away.
Well, how like
Wait, what weapon are you using? Sorry.
I am using the AR-15.
range is 130 yards. It's
Yeah.
within half of that, I believe.
Yeah. So it is.
Or no, I'm sorry.
20.
It's feet in dex. What's your dex? 13. Is he within 13 feet?
Not 13 feet.
Okay, then
Yeah.
no.
What is firing
So-
equipment range do?
Is he double down?
No, it doubles your percentage.
Does it?
Oh.
Yeah.
Um,
So that could have mattered.
Yeah, it would have.
Yeah, well, you get to take another shot because your dex is higher.
Nope.
Move
I missed.
closer and shoot. Move closer and shoot.
No. I am not following the advice of the people in the influence states.
So he kind of lifts up this one arm that's, it's like the forearm is too long, and kind of is like looking at you. He starts making this sound. Excuse me. Let's see if this happens now.
Great.
No, it doesn't. Okay, you're good. But he's pretty bulked up. So you can take your third shot.
Hit him.
73. I missed.
So you're just going pew pew pew, and just like
Yeah.
there's ricochets happening all behind him, and he's just smelling. His body's also kind of fluidly moving, but you wouldn't hit him anyways. So now for the rest of you, we're at the top of another round. You're trying to get away from this guy. It looks like he's like a skull with like it looks like just the embodiment of death is in this figure, but like foul death, not a natural end to life, but an unnatural evil thing. Where if you were to be taken by this, your soul would be destroyed.
I'm gonna dance.
tortured,
I'm
worse.
gonna dance my way while working the buckle of my belt to where those 3 are between it and me.
Fair enough. And the 3 of you have just become aware there's now an entity within the cave that is coming towards you, trying to disrupt your spell. You assume.
That feeling of sadness, is that anything reminiscent of when we cast the spell earlier?
Yeah, but kind of in a more permanent sense.
Is it the giving of power, the sacrificing of power that was asked for in the...
It feels like power is being lost. Yeah.
But is it me sacrificing that power, or is it the bad guy stealing the power?
Are you resisting? It feels
I
actually like
usually
it's flowing. It doesn't feel like it's flowing towards. Like you actually kind of feel this kind of flow that it's going towards Father Tom, who's leading the dance.
Oh, in that case, I give in.
Okay.
I push.
So do I feel the sadness as well?
You feel it kind of moving
Flowing
towards
through me?
the symbol.
Okay.
Yeah, I not only give in, I actually push. That feeling. Whole hog.
So you recognize that this thing is a threat, and you probably want to stay away from it. Roll me an idea. That.
18 under 80.
And roll me music as well, actually. Should be able to.
5.
Great. You are conducting this expertly. But what this dance needs is some color.
Where's the knife?
Not that kind of
Not
color.
red.
Dust.
You need some
dust.
pigments.
Purple.
You said color. I'm sorry.
Your desire is not to open up your gullet and like spew whatever. That's what you've got some purple dust there. That's what your focus is.
Where's the purple
Red
dust?
red is half of what you need. You also need blue, so let's go
I
purple.
have it.
Do you?
Yeah. You gave it to me, right?
No, he
No,
had it at the
you
door.
told me to make sure I kept it at the entrance.
Oh,
So is it like
yeah,
in the pile of
yeah.
guns?
It would be probably in one of my pockets.
Yeah, it would be in a pocket.
But I know that.
I would.
Or you could just say, hey, give me the dust.
I can't. I'm singing. I got to keep the chant if it's flowing
That's
through
right.
me.
I'm gonna say you know where it was.
Okay.
You felt like this was an important thing.
So I'm gonna go like dance towards Jesse and try and take it out of his pants.
Awesome. That's happening.
So do I know somebody's approaching him back, or do I just feel hands in my
You
pants?
feel a hand in your pants as you try and take your first shot.
Second shot. No, I'm not.
No. So take your
Okay.
shot.
Come on. 29. I am under. I hit.
Great.
Maybe.
Roll damage.
8. Aha! 15.
15. That's good. You blow off like half of his head, but he's
It's
the
not
other half is still smiling at you.
It's not the important half, right?
Great. Meanwhile, there's someone jerking around.
You blew off half his head. He still has 4 ears, 3 eyes, and 75 teeth.
Okay.
He's good.
Take another shot.
It is the point blank thing in effect.
Not right now.
Okay, yeah, I miss.
And so he chants and sings, and you feel kind of this pressure wave. And he goes like this. He snaps his wrist around, and there's a slash that opens up, cutting through your clothes and cutting through your flesh. Ow. So you take 5 damage.
So you're going to search the remains and find the
Yeah.
dust. Is what
I'm still standing.
And so he turns and looks at you reaching into, looks at the father reaching into the pocket. He goes, "Oh no, you." And he starts singing a different song.
Okay. Can I get the thing out of his pocket?
Yep. And you can take one more shot.
I hit. 6 damage. Not damage.
But there's a big hole that blossoms on his chest, and it looks like he's not quite smiling as much.
I am going to. So I have the powder, and it's in like a glass tube, maybe.
Yeah, it's like a glass vial. Yeah,
So what do I have any idea of how to encompass this? Like, is it like a powder, or is it like a glitter?
Glittery powder.
Okay, so I'm gonna dance next to everyone dancing with me and like
You actually
dust
think
them
that
with it, maybe.
the sign.
Oh, the sign needs it, so I will like pour a little on my hand and then like trace the sign with my hand.
Yeah, kind of trying to fill it in. That's good.
Yeah.
And is the sign wet? Like condensation on the rock or whatever?
Yeah, it does a little bit.
So that it would stick.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You can,
Yeah. And there's kind of a cavity so you can fill it in.
Yeah. So that's what I do.
Okay, so that's the round.
Jesse gets
Top of the next round.
I want to dab my finger just in the blue stuff.
Okay,
Want some of that.
that's awesome. Who's the power?
Oh, hey.
If you give it freely.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And then also Gordon and Sister Rosemary, do you guys give up the power freely?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Can I do 2?
Yeah. Why not?
So your power at the top.
Is it permanent power?
Doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah. So do I lose some as well?
Yeah.
Just one?
Yeah.
Okay. So that also affects our
Magic.
luck, sanity, and magic.
And so this begins to, you don't need to figure out now. We're at the end. So what you're doing begins to kind of vibrate and the color sort of solidifies and fills into the sign that's chiseled into the rock, and it almost has a sheen to it, a glow to it. And you can take another shot at the Jester.
11, I hit.
Is that a fifth? Is that with a fifth? Huh? Is that with 1/5 of your gun?
Yes.
Okay. What's your gun? 60?
50.
50? That's not.
No, it's not.
You need a 10.
So close. Why? What does that do?
You impale.
Really? You can impale with a gun?
Yeah.
Hey, that's 8. That's 16 damage.
16 damage?
Yes.
That's great. I'm gonna, you just tear through him. And he gives one last strangle gasp, and you start to feel something kind of bubble underneath your skin. But as he says this last gasp, you're okay. It kind of dissipates, and he collapses to the floor, and just kind of looks almost like he's made out of jelly. His body kind of just like gets a little bit translucent and kind of like jellyfish-like, but maintains its regular shape, such as it is. And you guys have successfully sealed the gate as you dance away. But you're also, 4 of you are incredibly high, and this one is losing his mind on acid. And you, as soon as the gate is sealed, all these butterflies fly out, and they're swirling all around you, and it is awesome. You did a great job.
Do we lose any sanity for the jelly man on the floor?
No,
You guys are
too high.
You guys are dope. You do, actually. Just go ahead and lose 4.
Just go ahead and lose 4. Call it a gift.
Yeah, I'm not going to be. Hey,
So I'm gonna kind of.
after this.
You guys successfully sealed the gate. So when you guys go outside, you notice that all of you that could see it, those kind of thin spots, they're not there anymore. Those purple lights, they're not there anymore. You hear kind of a wailing coming up, but it's not as loud as the shouting was off in the distance. And you guys, what do you guys do? Do you guys head south?
If I have the wherewithal at all, I'd get out my cell phone and say, problem solved. No nuke. No nuke.
Still, if that doesn't work, let's all get in the car. We're going to drive south fast.
You come to a military cordon by the U.S. Army, and Gordon shows his. It's several miles away, but mostly deserted streets. You see some bodies lying around that don't seem to be moving. You show the badge. They look in the car at the 5 of you and like, what the hell is going on here? But they've seen a lot of weird stuff, and they give you a salute and let you pass. You're taken to a recovery station where you
save the world.
You keep repeating over. We stopped it. We stopped it. Oh God.
No nuke.
No nuke. And what are you talking about? But you don't see a mushroom cloud form over San Francisco that day or the next day. And as you guys kind of sober up in your tent, you hear noise that there's been a terrorist release of an incredibly fast sort of contagion that spread through and took a lot of lives in San Francisco and caused some long-lasting neurological side effects and some psychoses and just this horrible mass behavior. But they, due to the efforts of the U.S. military and the National Guard, they were able to keep it contained. And while the loss of lives was horrific, and we're talking about 1 million, 2 million, a lot of people. They stopped it. I think it's the North Koreans. So we might go.
The military stopped it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
So the question then is, I'd like to hear from each of you then. What do you guys do in the weeks, months, years to come, maybe?
I tell absolutely everybody who will listen to the story of what happened.
How?
Word for word as what happened until they lose interest and tell me to stop.
Do you tell people this verbally?
Walk up, people talk to them, yeah.
Where do you go after you recover?
Primarily bars. I lost
bars where?
Far too. I'm never going back to San Francisco.
No, that's been cordoned off for quite some time.
I'm going to go to the next town. Just down
so you start going to like San Jose. And
yeah.
You're still living in kind of California. Okay.
Yep.
What about Commander Baird? What do you do?
File. I mean, I'm as truthful as I can be in my official report.
Leaving out the drug use.
Leaving out my personal drug use. But that, we found I mean, I guess I will play to the terrorist spin
Mhm.
but say, there were a lot of unexplained things that I saw, but, we found where the attack was coming from and we were able to neutralize the leader. And,
That's good. You're given a restful posting, shore duty, but you're kind of used to that. But you're actually just doing like quartermaster supply stuff, which seems kind of relaxing compared to what you've been doing, so you can get your mind straight. Then one day, a couple months after, you think you're ready to move on and kind of get back in the intelligence business. There's a folder on your desk, and you open it up, and it says, "We know exactly what happened. This one's talking." And there's a picture of your friend, Lorne Cook. And then, there's a note that just says, should we silence or not?
They want my opinion?
Mm-hmm.
No one's gonna, how am I supposed to respond? Like via email?
There's a little Y and a slash and end. Then you can just circle it and then leave it on your desk, and maybe you come back later and know what's going.
Do you like me? Yes or no?
I'll write under it, no one will ever believe him, don't bother, and circle the no.
So, Lorne, you do not receive a knock on your motel door in the middle of the night, and then, get met with several silenced gunshots.
Good.
People mostly view you as a crank, but you do get a small internet following that are like, this is what really happened. And so you can kind of make the tour of some book shows and get a little bit of money from it.
I bet he becomes a regular guest on that.
Coast to Coast.
Coast to Coast.
Oh yeah. He makes a couple appearances on Coast to Coast, and every so often you notice some people in suits that appear to be keeping an eye on you. As it goes. So what happens with the San Francisco Giants? Their season's a lot of over. Their season's over. A lot of the team has been killed. Some of them didn't make it out. So you can go back to Japan. You could probably get a contract on their team. You could quit playing baseball and do something else.
I'm going back to the Aomori province in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to retreat to Shinto practices up in the
mountains,
overlooking the city where I live, or the village where I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to begin practicing with pharmaceuticals, attempting to achieve the transcendent state of the butterfly.
Oh yeah,
which was like one of the greatest things I've ever
seen. And you do every so often. Some journalists come out and try and interview you about your career as a baseball professional. Why you decided to give it up and went down this path. Do you ever answer their questions?
Oh, of course, because baseball is unimportant.
Okay.
It doesn't. And I described the purple column
mm-hmm.
and the light and the symbol. And that there is more to us than a ball and a bat.
You achieve that state, and you actually find that there's several gates, for lack of a better term, actually within your immediate area where you can see into other worlds. Those kind of creep you out, and you feel like you'd be better left off doing your safer experimentations in holy places, not in creepy, strange, otherworldly places.
Yeah, we don't need to go there.
But you do achieve that kind of transcendence, and you become very much at peace.
Do you ever try to draw the symbol? Because it was drawing the leaf symbol, the branch symbol, and performing the dance that achieved it the first time.
I will not, but if there are other religious devotees that seek me out regarding my type of transcendence and what I'm doing and why I'm doing, because I'll go with both the answers when I'm asked,
mm-hmm.
then I will point these places out and say, yes, this symbol will remove that. And send out others if they are so inclined.
Sure. Sister Rosemary, how do you do it?
I kind of realized that my devout sisterhood isn't all that it's cracked up to be. There's more out there. I still feel like I can help humankind, but in a different way now than before. So I start looking into the occult and researching, following my psychology. I feel very drawn to Father Tom because I feel like he slipped off the bandwagon and he needs to be saved again, so to speak. So I kind of go to him and see if he won't, do studies with me to research what exactly happened. I kind of keep tabs on Lorne because he's very much out there, like his little internet thing or whatever, and I follow that, but mainly just do a lot of research to see if we can find other places that need quote-unquote sealed.
In the meantime, when you're doing that, you actually develop a small following kind of by word of mouth where people know that you know a lot about this stuff and that you're someone who's got answers to some questions that no one's ever thought to ask. You've experienced these things personally. And you find out that there are, in fact, other cults like this that exist that are practicing. And so you're not necessarily in the front lines dealing with these things, but you're definitely a resource to some people that come to you that are trying to nip this kind of thing in the bud before something like that happens, and you're able to give them the answers and kind of direct them. This is where you need to go. This is how you can do this. And you become actually a very valuable asset in this kind of, what you realize is essentially a shadow war that's being fought on kind of the fringes of society. And you're used to dealing with some of the fringes before all this, so, and you know how to talk to these people and do it in a way that they feel like they can trust you. And so then there's Father Tom, who had an unfortunate drug relapse.
So Father Tom's relapse causes a much bigger relapse. And Sister Rosemary actually ends up following me through several cities across the country. And ends up saving me from suicide by overdose probably a year or two later after some very, very heavy drug use. And it's that suicide and her saving that causes me to have my second spiritual reawakening. And then I join her in whatever she does. And even though I'm older, not old, older, by this time in my 50s, I take a very militant physical role, taking my past and my present and bring them together to lead others physically against whatever monsters are out there.
Yeah, and so you kind of work in tandem, the two of you, and you're able to prevent this kind of thing from getting kind of as full blown as it does. It's a big help because people's heads aren't turning into eyeballs sometimes.
Right.
So yeah.
Did we ever figure out what that was?
We can talk about it.
We don't want to know.
I think that'll do us tonight for Nerds Domain Presents Masks of Gnarltep Side Quest. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter. You can find us on iTunes and give us a rating, and you can buy our shirts at slashloot.com. We want to thank George for running our game, and
Thank you.
our players for quite an enjoyable game. So we will talk to you guys real soon.
This has been a production of the Omega Nerds Network, the network where it's on.